welcome to this week's edition of Bison Talks IMPACT Solo. Today coming to you via the Total Nonstop Impact Network, home of the #1 Impact review show on the planet today. If you have yet to subscribe to the YouTube channel, please do it today. Smash the bell to never miss a listen. Okay, so today I'm going solo because I want to talk about Slammiversary. Now, Slammiversary is only, at the time of this recording, is only 18 days away on July the 18th. It's a big day. I think it's going to be an incredible day, and I'm really looking forward to watching it. To be honest, I've already paid for it, so I'm fighting upwards up. So I'm very excited and looking forward to checking out what incredible stuff we're going to be seeing from the Impact team. I think that what's interesting is the promotion, the excitement, everything else has been created over the last sort of kind of month or so has been second to none. I think the guys over at Impact are doing a great job of promoting. You can see that they've taken a step up. And they're really looking at every single avenue that they could possibly use to promote the pay-per-view. Obviously, the key is to get as many buys as possible, as it's going to be a closed arena event. I think the buzz has been created with the use of the potential free agents that are coming in. I think that's been a bonus because at the end of the day, if those guys hadn't been coming in, it would have been interesting to see how they would have been able to create the buzz in a completely different way. But what they've done is they've taken something and they've really ran with the ball with it. And I think it's working out really well in their favor. I love some of the stuff that they were doing with Don Callis being the free agent bagger and all that kind of stuff, making sure that he was out there bagging as many free agents as he possibly could for the roster, which is great. And I think what's interesting is, I have been saying this for a little while, that although Impact have got some incredible talent, and I love every single one of them, I think what the roster lacks is just that little bit of star power. Yes, we've got your RVDs in there, we've got Rhino in there, etc. But those are more veteran guys, they're not necessarily going to pull in lots of people. I think it's helped over the last 12 months to have those guys in there. All of them have got really big followings, on the social media side of things, which of course, when they're putting stuff out, is potentially drawing people to check out the Impact brand as they are at the moment. I think if you're not watching Impact at the moment, then you're missing out, because some of the stuff that they're putting on TV at the moment, for me, it's got to be some of the best stuff, from a wrestling point of view and storyline point of view on TV today. I think the pandemic has probably, been quite a good thing for them. It's probably helped, not a good thing in the sense that, I just mean in the sense that it puts them on a even playing field with other promotions, because other promotions are having to do the same thing. AEW, empty arena shows. I memean, it's only members of the roster that are there, sort of kind of giving the impression that there's a crowd, but there isn't. And exactly the same with WWE, NXT. All these shows, empty arena shows. And I think what it's proved is that when you put Impact on even playing field, they can compete with the best of them. And I think what people need to start understanding is that the storytelling, the in-ring action, the overall kind of like production value of the product is improving week on week, month on month, year on year since Anthem have taken over. So people need to start giving Impact a chance again, and I think they probably are starting to do that. We've had the possibility of the signings coming in. We've had some big hints at the Good Brothers, Doc Gallows, Carl Anderson coming into the brand on the 18th. We're going to have to wait and see. None of this is a done deal. There's lots of hints saying that this is going to happen. There are a few of the media outlets out there that are also giving us the information saying, "Oh, well, this is a done deal," but we again still won't know until July the 18th. So we've got to tune in to find out who turns up. Will it be EC3? EC3 has been doing a lot of promotion at the moment, talking about is controlling the narrative stuff. Is EC3 going to turn up? Is EC3 the mystery opponent for the main event? We don't know that. Would I like to see EC3 turn up? Yes, I would. Definitely. EC3 is one of my favorite Impact guys or TNA guys from the past. I put him up there with AJ Styles, etc., in terms of the impact and the growth that he had via his time on TNA. It was incredible. The guy literally came in as a guy that had just been released from NXT, but he was at this level. When he left, he was up here. He elevated himself. The company really pushed him and really utilized the skills that he had. His promo stuff was fantastic. His in-ring storytelling is great. I'd love to see him and Eddie have a crazy program. I know that obviously they've fought in the past, but I just think him and Eddie having a good set of matches, like he did with Michael Elgin in the past. Now with the character that Eddie is, I think would be incredible. And I'm going to move on to that a little bit later on when we talk about the main event. Now, EY, we've had the tease that Eric Young, Super Eric, I believe, when we sort of saw the cape and the mask coming in and the kind of like the MCU style promos that we seem to be, or hints that we seem to be getting now at the end of every episode over the last 3 or 4 weeks of what is coming, etc. I think. You've got to make sure that you watch. You wait for the Impact logo to disappear, and who's going to be. What's going to be the promo. I find myself being excited to get to the end of the show just to see the promo. To see what potential they're going to be doing, what they're going to be pushing, who they're going to be teasing, all these kind of things. So. That's really, really good to see. So yeah, I'd love to see EY come and join the party at Slammiversary. That would be great. Do I want to see him come in as Super Eric? I don't know. I mean, it depends what they put on it. It was an interesting storyline when they did it in TNA. Personally, I quite like the Maniac type character when he was towards the end of his time on Impact. I really enjoyed that, and I'd love to see him come back as the Maniac. Just think as that kind of heel character, he was great. But again, Eric is an amazing heel. He's an amazing face. He's great at comedy. Again, another completely wasted talent on the WWE roster. Just never, ever got used at all and was just a complete waste. Lio Rush. Now, I know there's a lot of people that are a little bit not sure on this guy. I'm personally keen to see what this guy does. He's got incredible talent in the ring. I can imagine him obviously banging out his own entrance music. Sorry, just getting a little bit dry there. Banging out his own entrance music as he's a rapper and all that kind of stuff. And you could see being a good fit because Impact potentially could be able to push his music and all sorts of stuff like that. So Lio Rush, great guy. I think him and Chris Bay would be that would be one hell of a feud. So if Lio Rush comes in, that would be great for me too. Rusev. Or Myro, as he's obviously renamed himself now on the socials, etc. We've not really heard a lot from him, and I think there was a little interview probably a couple of weeks ago where he sort of kind of wouldn't. He's like, oh, no comment. He didn't really want to say anything, so he didn't say yes or he didn't say no. So I don't know. Watch his space. Could Myro be the entrant in the main event? Or could he just turn up as a real, as a badass heel to replace Michael Elgin, for instance? He's sort of kind of that kind of body shape, that kind of mold of character. Would be interesting. The other one, Bully Ray. Now, the tease of Aces and Eights, I think is amazing. I'm a massive Aces and Eights fan. I loved it when they did it before. I think Bully did some of his best work when he was, leading up to the reveal and being the president of Aces and Eights. At that time, did I think that the storyline kind of went a little bit too long? Yes, I think it probably did. It sort of kind of just went a little bit too long. But a lot of the stuff prior to that was amazing. I think, depend on where they go with it. But it will be interesting to see what they do with it if that in fact does come back. I know they're teasing it. I think there'll be a lot of disappointed fans if it doesn't arrive. Because they were certainly getting a bit of hype on that one. A lot of people are buzzing over that potential. And who would not want to see on Impact TV Bully Ray versus Sami Callihan? Now, what a match. I mean, for me, that would be an absolute dream match. That's like Ultimate Heel versus Ultimate Heel. What a match. So, yeah, very exciting times. Will Bully Ray come in? If he does, that would be awesome. The other one that's drawn a little bit of interest for me is actually Heath Slater. Now, there's people out there like, oh, I'm not that keen on Heath. Ooh, that would be rubbish bringing him in. But actually, would it? Yes, he played this sort of kind of, more of a sort of jobber mid-card role on the WWE product. A lot of the time he was pretty much in there to lose matches, etc. However, he played that role really, really well. So what that does tell you is that there is a lot of potential in there as him as a character to rebuild, rebrand, and potentially rejuvenate his career. I'm interested in that possibility. I think if Heath Slater came into Impact, he could potentially be like another EC3 type thing where he sort of kind of comes in and really rebuilds his brand and his character to be an absolute badass. And I think people will love him. I don't want to, say that, oh my God, he's going to be an amazing signing, but I do think that he potentially has, he could potentially be very good. He has, there's a lot of potential there. The other one is, the other pairing would be Maria and Mike Bennett. Maria, I don't care too much for. I find her a little bit of the character that she was playing previous when she was on there was a bit annoying. I wasn't too keen on that. I'm not a big fan of her voice. It just goes through my head. But I think Mike is a great wrestler. And I think that, if Mike comes back, whether it be with Maria or not, I don't think that really matters. But I think Mike Bennett would be a great re-addition to the roster. And I could see some incredible feuds with that guy. He's incredible talent. And anyone that doesn't see that is silly, because the guy, he's got everything that he needs to be successful in this business if he's given the chance. He's a good heel. I think he makes a good, I think he'd make a good face character as well. Do I believe in miracles? You know what? Yes, I do. I also believe in second chances. And I think it would be great to see Mike Bennett back on the Impact roster. And again, with all of these guys, they're all adding something. Some of them are adding something different. Some of them are adding something, that we've already got. But or they're replacing something that we've lost. But at the end of the day, what they are bringing with them is buzz. People will be siding with Impact Wrestling going forward. And if that's the case, we could start seeing more. Will we start seeing, I don't know, more females turn up? Are we going to start seeing people like Rachel Ellering? I've talked about her before. This is someone I would love to see come back to Impact, come to Impact Wrestling. She is come back as well, because I believe she has been on the show when it was TNA. Taylor Wilde. Now there is a perfect example of someone that should 100% come back to Impact Wrestling. We would love to see Taylor Wilde running wild on the Impact Knockouts. That would be amazing. If she brought Sarita with her as a tag team, that would be awesome too. I'd also like to see Kira Hogan's partner Diamante. I'd like to see her come back as well, because I don't think we didn't get to see much of her. She got injured, she was gone, and to be fair, she was only there for a little while. We never really got to see her shine. So again, I think it would be great to see her come in, maybe join Kira and Tasha Steelz, and create some kind of faction there, which would be really cool. I don't know. So there's a lot of talking points. There's a lot of things that could happen, but will it happen? We're just gonna have to wait and see, aren't we? Now let's talk about the match card. So far, as of today, because obviously there's still going to be a couple of more matches added, I would imagine. But so far, we've got some really interesting matches, haven't we? I mean, we've got Chris Bay versus Willie Mack for the X title. Now, if you do not think that this is going to be a going to be a good match, you're nuts. Because, these guys, Willie Mack is an incredible talent. Chris Bay is clearly incredible in-ring talent, and I think that is going to be one hell of a match. And I could say now that might be a contender for match of the card, match of the night. Willie Mack, Chris Bay, that's going to be great. I think the way that they've built all of that up, I love some of the promo stuff Willie's been doing over the last couple of weeks. The Deaners thing where he sort of kind of smashes out with Stone Cold Steve Austin impression was amazing. For me, it was kind of like, man, where did that come from? Because I have said in the past, on Impacted, etc. I have said in the past, I thought, there's, Willie needs to come out a bit more. I get the whole realism side of him, but he needs to, turn the volume up a little bit. Draw me in. Make me sort of sit up and go, yeah. And that's what he did in that promo. Now, yeah, he was doing a Stone Cold impression, but it just goes to prove that there is more in him. He can do more. And I'm hoping that we start to see a little bit more promo stuff from Willie, which is a bit more sort of kind of Willie turned up. I love the realness of it, but turn it up a bit. Let's give it a bit more. Let's create some more excitement. Let's hear it in your voice, Willie. Let's hear a bit more. And Chris Bay, I interviewed Chris about a month or so ago now. Great guy. He's got a massive amount of ambition in there. He desperately wants to be the X Division champion. He's a long-term fan of TNA, the product, etc. And it's great to see guys like that who've come in, watching the product, and they really want to be in there and taking titles. And I think that's amazing. His alignment with the Swingman, I think is pretty cool. Big fan of the Swingman. I was a bit disappointed to see that he's been removed from ringside for the match, because I think that would have been cool. However, I do believe that the Swingman's going to have a plan. The Swingman always has a plan, so it'd be interesting to see what happens for that. Okay, moving on. Knockouts title. We've got the Jordan Grace versus Deonna Purrazzo, sorry. Now, I think this is going to be great. I really love the way that they build this match up. Do I think Deonna's going to win? No. I think Jordan's going to win. The reason I think Deonna's not going to win at the moment is because she hasn't signed a contract. Why would Impact put the belt on her until she's actually physically signed a contract? Makes no sense. If she signs a contract that weekend, well, who knows? Maybe she will win. But at this moment in time, I don't believe she's going to win. I think it's going to be a great way to put Jordan over. I think Jordan's it's not going to dominate. It's going to be a great match. Both of them are strong. They're both physical. And I think it's going to be a real strong style female knockouts matchup. And I think, it's going to be a great match. And I love the build up. The stuff on Busted Open that was shown on Impact a couple of weeks ago. I actually watched that on the socials as well. I actually saw that on the show. And it was a really, really good promo. And I think both of them proper showed their passion for what they were looking for. I don't take much stock in some of the stuff that was put out from the dirt sheets the other day with regards to something Deonna said about, almost along the lines of Impact being a stepping stone to AEW. I don't believe that. I think she wants to be on that roster. Why would you not want to be in the Knockouts roster right now? It is one hell of a roster. You're gonna have some amazing matches. You've got the opportunity to shine. It's there. It's all there. There's no reason for her to go anywhere else. So I'd be interested to see how that one pans out, and I really hope she signs a contract. The next one is the Knockouts Gauntlet match. Now, this one's really, really interesting because I am struggling a little bit to understand what this match is about. Now, it's saying it's a number one contenders match. But is it a number one contenders match for the Knockouts title? It doesn't say that. It just says Knockouts Gauntlet match, number one contender. Now, that's interesting because, every single person in this match is currently kind of associated or tagged up with other performers in it. You know, you've got Nevaeh, you've got Havoc. Currently, you know, they're a little team. You've got Tasha and Kira, definitely a team. You've got Taya and Rosemary. You know, we found out that they're definitely teaming up because on the last edition of Impact, Taya asked her and Rosemary said yes. So we know that. We also know that Susie and Kylie are best friends. You know, so that's interesting. They're potentially a tag team, you know, moving forward as well. So the only one on here that we've not seen actually made potentially a tag team is Alicia and Kimberly. Now, those are the only two that potentially aren't tagged up. Could I see Alicia and Kimberly as a tag team? Yes, I think that would be quite an interesting tag team. You know, you've got Kimberly, who's clearly an incredible talent, amazing in the ring, really strong, really fast, very flexible. And you've got Alicia, who's actually very similar. You know, she's smaller in stature, but she, again, is really quick. She's got a great moveset. You know, she's like a 10-year veteran of the business. So, yeah, potentially you've got yourselves quite a nice little tag team there. You know, who knows where that could lead? Who knows if that could lead into a tag team? This is my theory on this one. I'm starting to think that the number one contendership on this is actually for the tag team championships. Okay. And I think that potentially we may see a tag team matchup for the Impact tag team titles at Slammiversary. I think that could be a match that gets announced in the next couple of weeks. You know, could it be someone like Taylor Wilde and Sarita? So what I'm thinking is that what they're going to do is they're going to bring in two former TNA Knockout Champions tag teams. And then they're going to face them off. They're going to face them off, and whoever wins that match becomes the title holders. To me, that makes sense. And I honestly think that if that was to happen, then it would be very interesting to see out of the gauntlet match which one of these guys end up winning to then be the number one contenders to take on the new reigning tag champs from the TNA past. You know, I don't know. What do you think? Leave your comments below. I'm really interested to hear your thoughts. But just, you know, it doesn't state that it is a number one contenders match for the Knockouts title. It doesn't state that. It just says it's a number one contenders match, gauntlet match. So, I don't know. Interesting. You know, that's my take on it. You know, I don't know whether that's going to happen. It's just my thought process, you know, and I do love to sort of kind of like, you know, put swings on things and see whether things turn out. Sorry, I got a bit of an itchy nose. Sorry about that. For some reason, my nose is itching. Maybe a bit of hay fever coming in. I do live in the countryside, everyone. So I might be sort of coming on with a bit of hay fever. I don't know. Anyway, moving on. We've got the North versus Samrock. So it'd be interesting to see where this one goes. Now, this for me is a bit confusing. Do I think it's going to be a great match? For me, any match that involves the North, Sami Callihan, you add in the world's most dangerous man, it's going to be a good match. Yeah, you've got four incredible wrestlers. You've got one incredible tag team. You've got a tag team that we've never seen before, but two incredible wrestlers. So, you know, I think the match is going to be great regardless. My only confusion is why. You have some great teams, you know, on the roster. We've got the Rascals. Yes, you know, the Rascals for some reason, this tag title seems to be elusive to them. You know, I'm a little bit with Trent on this one. I think they deserve a shot at it, but they've had quite a few. And at this point, I don't think that's going to happen. You know, we've got Reno Scum. You know, these guys have been around a little while. They're a legitimate tag team. Why are they not getting a shot? And we've got, you know, Triple XL. You know, again, more recent, you know, but they've had some really good matches. They've won a couple. They've lost a couple. But, you know, some really good matches. We've got Fallah Bahh and TJP. Now, for me, these are the guys that should have been in this match. because they prove themselves. They go out, they win matches. And to be fair, they beat Reno Scum on the last thing. They should be, it should turn around and say, okay, so there's our tag team title match. To me, it just makes perfect sense. The North versus Falaba and TJP. Bottom line, those guys, the last 2 times they met, were incredible matches. Absolutely incredible. You know that you're guaranteed to get an incredible match. Yeah? And for me, it would then lead to Fala and TJP winning the titles. Yeah? But it could possibly be that they win the titles at the expense of someone like the Good Brothers coming in, or maybe a pissed off Ken Shamrock, costing them the title. And then we go on to see a really cool feud after that. Because, they end up with the titles, and also you get the feel-good factor because, let's face it, Falaba, TJP, their faces, they're really, really popular. Everyone loves them. You're going to get a real good feel-good factor. The North are heels. At the end of the day, they're heels. So the heels losing to the faces would have been great. I don't know. That's my take on it. I just don't, I'm not sold on it. I'm not saying it's not going to be a good match. I think, all day long it's going to be a great match. I'm just not convinced on the build and the why it's happening. I don't know. It doesn't have any reason or rhyme or for it to happen, really. There was a couple of weeks of that strange sort of kind of build, and then Sammy turns up and all of a sudden we've got a tag team against the North. I don't know. It's just, I'm not sold on it. On the build to it. I'm not sold on the build to it. I'm not sold on the thing. I still think it's going to be a great match, but I'm just not sold on how it happened. Moving on. So the next match that we know about at the moment is the main event. Okay, now the main event itself is a 4-way. So we've got Ace Austin versus Eddie Edwards versus Trey Miguel. So, and obviously versus a mystery opponent. Okay, now, obviously the mystery opponent is going to be, one of these guys that's hopefully coming in from the free agency roles or whatever it is. That those guys, it's going to be one of those guys. I'll get to that in a second. Who do I think should win this match? Okay. So in recent weeks, we've seen the release of the former world champion Tessa Blanchard, who was obviously the champion at the time. Obviously, she's relinquished her title. She's been released from the company, fired, however you want to look at that. She's no longer world champion. The championship is now vacant. Do I think that the championship has been hurt slightly over the last probably 2 months? I don't know. I think it possibly has a little bit. And, there are a lot of people out there that diminished the world championship based on the fact that a female had won it. Do I agree with that? No, I don't agree with that. But that is what there's a lot of people out there saying that. There's a lot of people that feel that the title's been diminished slightly. Then it has, in reality, I don't necessarily believe that, but it has. So, what do I believe needs to happen going forward? For me, I think the title needs to be re-legitimized. So the only way you could do that is that you have to put it on someone who is, what many people would see as like a true, legitimate, badass wrestler, basically. That's what you need to do. A lot of people are calling, for Ace Austin, to be the youngest ever world champion. Yeah, I see him being the world champion. Is he ready yet? Probably. I'm not too sure. Is he ready to carry the company? Because let's face it. Once you become the world champion, you are the face of the brand. You have to carry the company on your shoulders. I'm not sure he's ready for that yet. I'm not sure he's the man for the job. Do I see him as a world champion? Yes, I do. Just not yet. Trey. I love Trey Miguel. I think Trey Miguel is an incredible talent. He's fast. He's got an incredible moveset, which is exciting to watch. he's starting to show. I mean, his comedy stuff was quite good. It's quite good. You know, the trio stuff with the Rascals is quite good, promo wise. He's starting to show a more of a badass attitude now, which is great. But again, do I think Trey's ready to be a world champion? No, I don't think he's ready yet, and I don't think he's the right man to necessarily take the world championship where it needs to be over the next few months. So that only leaves either the mystery opponent or Eddie Edwards. So for me, the next Impact World Champion should be the cornerstone of the company, the most respected man in the locker room, Eddie Edwards. Now, he's a former world champion already, so he's already got credibility. For him to win that championship, especially with some of the matches that he's put on over the last 12 months, like, you know, the guy's a legitimate badass, right? He is a legitimate badass, and he's built up his character. He's got his new persona, all of this stuff. You know, he is legit, right? You put the title on Eddie Edwards, you have legitimized the title straight away. And what you've also done is you said thank you to the veteran in the locker room. The guy deserves this title. He deserves a second run. That's my opinion, you know, and I hope to God that happens. Now, mystery opponent. Whoever comes in is going to have a bit of clout. You know, I'm hoping it's either Rusev or Miro or EC3. Either one of those guys adds legitimacy to the match. Okay? Both of those guys are incredible talents. So, you put either one of those in there, but they cannot win, but they also cannot take the pin. Okay, so Eddie has to pin either Trey or Ace. He has to pin one of those guys. I'd say the likelihood will be it'll be Trey. But what that will then create is a potential feud with Ace Austin or the mystery opponent. I'm saying that it will be the mystery opponent because then what you're creating is a good 2 or 3 months worth of feud with whoever it is that's just come in. So you get them as much time as possible. You know people are going to want to watch it. You know people love Eddie Edwards, and we also know that whoever it is coming in is going to bring eyes to the product. So that's who your feud needs to be with. He doesn't need to win the match, but he needs to be in there, and he then needs to carry on the feud. Who knows? Maybe come Bang for Glory, we then get a rematch, one-on-one between Mystery Guy, Eddie Edwards, main event. What a match that will be if it is, you know, your Rusevs or your EC3, whoever it could be. That will draw eyes. That will be, you know, a huge main event. That's my thoughts. You know, they could totally swerve us, you know, or they could do what most people are expecting them to do, which is let the mystery opponent win, become world champion straight off the bat. I hope they don't do that. To me, that is a what's the word? That is a global force wrestling type move for me. You know, I mean, look what happened when you know they brought in the Mexican. I don't even want to mention his name. The guy's an arse. So you know the Mexican guy. Yeah, no, I'm not even. No, I don't want to even mention his name. I can't stand him. So. Anyway, you know, they put a title on him straight off the bat. People actually hated it. You know, it was like, why? Why would you do that? You know, why would you bring this guy in just to completely blow away the champion? It's just not on. It's not right. And, you know, for me, you know, whoever comes in, they have to earn that spot. If they end up at Bound for Glory becoming world champion, that's legit. Because potentially they've come in, they've had a great match in the main event at Slammiversary. You know, there's your bonus as a guy coming in straight away, main eventing straight off the bat. They didn't win, but they didn't get pinned. They then have a program with the world champ leading up to Bang for Glory, and then maybe they take the title. You know, that's kind of, you know, for me, that makes a lot more sense. You know, you're making them work for it. You know, they're not just going to come in and take the title off, you know, these guys that work their butts off, you know, in the company for the past however how long. You know, and I think it's time that, you know, it's time that Eddie, you know, is put in that position. Scott D'Amore himself said on the show when they announced it to be a 5-way or ever long, those several weeks ago, that Eddie Edwards is the cornerstone of the company. Well, if that's the case, the man needs to win the title. He needs that chance to carry it on his shoulders. Anyway, I'm trying to sell it to everybody. Let's face it, that's my thoughts. That's what I think. I really, really believe that, if Impact want to legitimize the title, it needs to end up around Eddie Edwards' waist or on his shoulder. Eddie Edwards for me, for the win, main event. I might be wrong. You never know. But at the end of the day, that's who I'm putting my money on. I'm putting my money on Eddie Edwards. Leave your comments below. Let me know your thoughts. I know there's lots. These are just my opinions. It's just my thoughts. At the end of the day, I'm not necessarily right or wrong. It's just my thoughts, just my opinions. I'm very interested to hear what everybody else thinks. You let me know. Let me know below. You let me know below who it is that you think deserves to win any of these matches. Who do you think? Do you think Chris Bay deserves to win the title at the moment? Are you up for Deonna Purrazzo taking a knockouts title of Jordan Grace? What do you think about the Gauntlet match? Is it for the knockouts title or is it possibly a swerve, and it could end up being that the chances to win a number one contendership for a knockouts tag titles? We know that they've been hinting that this is going on. We know that they've been pairing people up. Is that a possibility? Who knows? What are your thoughts on the North versus Samrock? I like I said, that's just my opinion. It's just my thoughts. What are your thoughts on that? And of course, what's your thoughts on the main event? What do you think is going to happen at Slammiversary? Who do you think is going to come in? Who is going to be the guys that turn up on July 18th for a fight? Who's it going to be? Who knows? Who absolutely knows? All I know is that I've paid for my pay-per-view, so you need to be doing the same. Get over onto Fight TV and make sure that you book the Slammiversary pay-per-view, because I think it's gonna be epic, and it's gonna be where were you the night Slammiversary when so and so turned up and put Impact back on the map. I don't know. You tell me. Or where were you when Eddie Edwards walked away for the second time as the Impact World Heavyweight Champion and legitimized that title once again? Who knows? I don't know. Leave your comments below. Let me know what you think. And who knows? It's gonna be great, and I hope to see as many of you guys posted on the socials during Slammiversary, letting everybody know that you're watching the show. If you're shocked at what's going on, if you're happy, if you're sad, if you're annoyed, it doesn't really matter. Whatever it is, the emotion that you're feeling during the show, let's make sure everyone's aware that we're watching Slammiversary on July 18th. We need to get on there. And I always say this, make sure you subscribe to Impact Plus, especially if you're in the UK. Because if you're in the UK and you subscribe to Impact Plus, it's like, I don't know, it's only like £7 a month or something. It's not a massive amount of money. It's less than a packet of fags these days, a packet of cigarettes. So bottom line is this. Sign up to Impact Plus. You get Impact literally an hour or so after it airs in the UK. You can watch it literally like in the middle of the night if you want to. I get up, I watch it at 9 o'clock on Wednesday morning, and I enjoy it and I love it. But anyway, that's just me. Sign up Impact Plus. You'll get the content on there is amazing. You get to see Impact straight away in HD. It's great. But anyway, that's enough for me. That's enough for me today. I'm probably bored. Listen to me now. But all I'd like to say is thank you for joining me today over here on the Total Nonstop Impact Network YouTube channel, or if you listen to me on SoundCloud, iTunes, we're Spotify, iHeartRadio, where is it you're listening? We're available on every single podcast channel available on the planet today. And of course, don't forget to tune in to the #1 Impact review show in the world today, Total Nonstop Impact on Tuesdays. It goes live roughly an hour after the show. Make sure you check it out. That's it from me. For Bison Talks Impact for Solo Edition, Slammiversary, July 18th. Don't miss it.